Okay, my face is aging and that's a fact. But I use potions and lotions and makeup, and a lot of people say that I look 10 years younger than my actual age, which is 70. Now, I've never had any Botox or any work done on my face, and if you want to do that, hey, you do you. But if you want a less invasive approach, I'm going to tell you my secrets. Now, you may have noticed in my thumbnail that I gave kind of an exaggerated version of concealer and also contouring. And actually with the contouring, I don't use a cream. I usually use a powder, so I'll be showing that. So are you ready? Well, first of all, I have to take off most of my makeup. I don't even go to the grocery store looking like this, but for you, I will do it today. I've taken all of my face makeup off except for my eye makeup, and here's how we start. Now, of course, in the thumbnail, I had the contouring, you know, in the brown, and I had the concealer in the white. I'm going to show you what I do with this, but maybe a little bit more of a scaled down version, but let's get started. And if you're looking for, you know, how I do my eye makeup, all you need to do after this video is go to youtube.com/@lovingourage/videos. And you know what? I'll probably put one at the very end of this video. There's that end screen, and I'll probably put one up there for you. So that'll help, but let's get on with the rest of my makeup here. Now let's start with a primer. I always start with a primer because this one's by Strivectin. What it does, you put about a dime's worth on your palm, and then you kind of rub it into your face. Now I've already done this, and what you want to do is you want to go into, you know, wherever you have those fine lines and wrinkles, and think about a wall. You know, when you paint a wall, you put a primer on it, right? And that just covers up a lot of the imperfections, and that's what this does as well. The other thing that's very important to me is, and you'll find a lot of Strivectin products here, I'm not being sponsored or anything, but I love them. Neck cream. It's very important, you know, that we always are moisturizing our neck. And what I also like to do is I just like to put, see these wrinkles here? I always, and along these lines here, I always like to put a little bit of face cream on as I'm doing my makeup, because morning, before makeup, and nighttime, the neck seems to be the one that really kind of gets wrinkled up. And as usual, I'll have most of the skincare and makeup products that I'm using today underneath the video description and also in the comments. And of course, if you go to amazon.com/shop/awesomeover50, I have dedicated sections of my favorites in skincare and makeup. So check those out. All right, let's get on to the next step. In a minute, I'm going to get to concealing my under eye dark circles, but I love this product. It's really, really helped me, and it's Strivectin Vitamin C Dark Circle Brightening Eye Serum. And you don't put it on before you put on your makeup. You're going to want to use this at nighttime. And I don't know what it does, but I know on this side, my eyes are underneath are a lot brighter. And let's cover up the rest of my dark circles. I'm using Hydro Boost, wait a second, Neutrogena Hydro Boost concealer. And if you notice, this goes on really nice because if you can see the middle here, it has moisturizer inside it. What I don't want to have under my eyes, I'm using a brush like this, I don't want to have, you know, those cakey looking under eyes. So I'm only gonna do one side of my face for this here. And there we go. That's all I do with that. And here's one of my secret weapons for my aging face, and it's by Bye Bye Under Eye, and it's IT Cosmetics. My color is light fair. All I do is a little bit goes on my hand, which acts as a palette, and then using this brush, what I'm going to do right now is there's a little bit of a line still here. Let me just see if I can get to it. So I'm just lightening it up here with the Bye Bye under eye. I don't know if you can see that too well. I also have this purpley part inside my eye. I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. Another aging thing that just showed up, right? So I'm going to put a little bit of concealer in there as well. When you see the end result, you'll see that this all makes sense. Now, let's do some more magic, because if you have 11s, you're going to want to fill them in. What's she doing? Well, I put the foundation over top of all this. So I'm filling in those little cracks and crevices. And I'm 70 now, so I really, you know, the moisturizing and everything helps, but I don't want to look like I'm 70, right? So see these marionette lines? Let me just get a little more here. I'm going to go down these marionette lines like this. Oh yeah. And in here. Now what this is it's making it less of a shadow. All right, there's something else to remember. We got all these imperfections like age spots, you know, all those kind of things. So I'm going to cover up a lot of those imperfections that I have, those age spots that give away my age. And what else gives away our age? Our hands. So people look at your hands too, you know? So see this spot here? I'm going to cover that baby up. I used to have just one spot. I got a couple more showing up. So when people are looking at my hands, you know, only my hairdresser knows for sure. Put in the comments if you remember that one. Okay, usually I let this dry a little bit and then I do my eyes, but I'm going to skip over to the foundation. I love Shiseido. This is a product, it's called Synchro Skin Self Refresher, but it adds a nice little glow to your face. My color is 150, which is called Lace. Now, once again, I'm using my hand as a palette. I usually do a couple of dabs there, that's all you need. And then I use a sponge like this, and I'm going over top of the concealer. Don't put the concealer on before, or like after your foundation, or you're gonna look really blotchy. So this just kind of goes over top. I'm gonna do my whole face this time so you can sort of see, and I'm smoothing it out as I'm going along. Don't put it underneath your eyes, okay? That's where the concealer is. We don't want to be rubbing off that concealer. The reason I like the brush, or the sponge, is because I can pat it on and not really take a lot of that concealer off. That's not what I want to do. I'm going to look really scary and pale after this, but I got all the blushes and bronzers and things like that I'm going to show you in a minute as well. Okay, over top of the marionette lines. And there we go. Now, if I see that, okay, it's a little blobby here, I'll fix that up. But there you go. Now, under my eyes, that concealer looks a little bit greasy, so I use Bye Bye Pores from IT Cosmetics. It's a really nice combination here, and you get a little sponge with it as well. So I'm just going to go underneath my eyes, just a little dab, not too much or you're going to make it look cakey, and done. All right, let's tackle those eyebrows. And do you notice that you miss a lot of hairs like in your eyebrows as you age, or maybe we just plucked too many of them in the 1990s, right? Well, anyway, I use this product. It's by NYX and it's Fill and Fluff. And my color is ash brown. Now, even though I have silver hair, I don't like to use a silver eyebrow pencil. I think when I see women wearing that, I think it makes them look older and also kind of unnatural. So I'm using the ash brown now. I gotta use a little bit of a, first you fluff everything up here with your eyebrows, as you can see that I'm doing here. And then what you do is you carefully, it might take you a couple of tries to do this, but you carefully just fill in the brow. This is a great product. See what I'm doing here? I'm just filling in the brow. And then you do the fluff. So we go fluff. I think I can do that off here now. There you go. You do a fluff. And I also like to use the Great Lash Clear Mascara. This is by Maybelline. It's super inexpensive. And I use the clear, and I brush upwards all my brows, and they stay in place all day. And if you like makeup tutorials, fashion tutorials, and even inspirational messages, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. There's a button down there somewhere, and please don't forget to click on the notification bell, because that way the algorithm will send you out my my videos. And by the way, they're out every Friday afternoon. All right, let's get back to this tutorial. Now let's start with the contouring. And I know on the thumbnail I showed a cream, but I do like using a powder. I love this Estee Lauder bronzer. My color is medium. It's a little pricey, but you know, this has lasted me for years and years. And in the summertime, I use this as a blush. So let's do some contouring right now. Right, a little bit on a brush like this. Down I go. I'm gonna do those cheekbones. Now, the jowls, right? What we're going to do is we're going to cover them up with a little bit of this contouring or bronzer. And you might say to yourself, well, do people notice them? No. But it is adding a shadow down here to really make my jowls disappear a little bit. And I also like to frame my face with a little bit of contour here. And did you know that your nose looks bigger as you age? Go figure, right? So I kind of squeeze this a little bit and go down my nose with a little bit of contouring here and a little bit underneath. And don't forget to stay until the end of this video. We'll have another mini inspirational message for you on feeling confident. But for now, it's blush time. For the blush, I use a brush like this, and also I love this NARS blush. Now, a little bit, not too much, goes on the apples of my cheeks, I think they're called. And also, I want to not look so pale, so I'm going to put a little bit here, a little bit on my nose, and there's a little bit left. This little bit left is what goes underneath my eyes to kind of even out the entire complexion. I'm almost done, but let's tackle those fading lips. Why do our lips like fade away? Anyway, I love the NYX Lingerie XXL lipstick, and I go for the pinks, I go for the peachy colors, but look at this applicator. It's just absolutely incredible, because what I can do, I can use it as a lip liner, and see how I can outline my lips with this? It's cool. All right, and I'm just gonna go from the inside here. Oops, went off a little bit. Oh, we can fix that. Okay, no problem. And then we're gonna go, I work from the outside and go inside. And then I just fill it in. Now, the thing about this lipstick is it stays on. What we don't want to do is keep putting on lipstick, because our lips are very pale when we get older, for most of us anyway, and this really does the trick. Now, as my lips are drying, I'm going to show you my secret weapon, all right? A lot of celebrities, they always look so youthful and glowing, and I always went, what are they using? I found a product that works just great. It's by e.l.f. and it's a highlighter. I use a brush like this and watch what it does. Whoa! Gives me those, you know, kind of, I don't know, youthful glow, like let's call it. I put a little bit up here, a little bit down here, and there you go. I'm glowing. And now that my lipstick is dried, I can put on a gloss. Again, it's by NYX. There we go. I just a little dab. I don't want bugs flying into my lips and that sort of thing, so that's all I put on. And with the magic of video, this is how I would look if I was going out. Now, I just want to make a couple of points here. I don't put on the after or the under mascara on the under eyelashes until after I have the concealer on. Okay, so that's a little trick there. But look at how the eyebrows are shaping around the eyes now. look at how I have definition, you know, on my face with the contouring. I've got a rosy glow. I got that highlighter, youthful glow as well. And I have lips. Yay! And of course, you know, fluff up my hair, put on some earrings, and I'm ready for my close-up. Now, most of you know that I'm a cheerleader for, you know, growing old gracefully without needles or surgery. And a lot of people, like I say, with the makeup and the potions and lotions, they say I look younger than my real birth certificate age of 70. When I say I won't even go to the grocery store without a little bit of makeup, I truly mean it. And I don't do it because, hey, I might run into someone. No, I do it for myself because it makes me feel lighter. It makes me feel cheerier. And I'm always talking to clerks and, you know, salespeople in stores and that sort of thing. So I feel so good when I go to the grocery store, and can you imagine how good I feel when I'm going to parties and get-togethers, especially at this time of year. And don't forget that this little message is just a few inspirational words, but I have now incorporated longer heart-to-heart chats on self-care, self-esteem, people-pleasing, all kinds of things that we kind of navigate through on our aging journey. And of course, they're going to be mixed up with newer makeup and fashion videos as well, so enjoy. Father Time does do a number, right? On our disappearing brows, our disappearing lips, our jowls, marionette lines, you know, all kinds of things are happening, age spots happening to our face. But I'm always trying out new makeup, and the makeup industry really has added a lot of new items for us more mature women. And when I can find them for you, I'm going to show them. And what I really want you to do is put on a little bit of rouge and a little bit of lipstick, as my grandmother used to say. And as you're leaving the front door, I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to say to yourself, I look great and I feel great. And to me, that's just another way to be loving our age.